Hey YouTube, it's Tamara Rose Blodgett, and I'm doing kind of a real-time video today. So that just means that I just got back from visiting my son and daughter-in-law in waiting and the new grand, and kind of got some time off and a nursing relationship established for her and promoted, supply building and things like that. And she seems to be on a real good footing now. And it was a lot. I realized my age pretty quickly when I had to take care of a newborn pretty hardcore there for a while. And it was just great. It went really well. But this video is about kind of what I need to do, the new protocol of what I'm doing. The bottom line is that, of course, you guys know I have Hashimoto's. And I've never really done a lot of research on Hashimoto's. I've just kind of concentrated on nutrition for health and weight loss and thought that I could maybe control the Hashimoto's through diet, and I still think I can, but I can't be laissez-faire about my objective in that, I used to be the cheating carnivore, right? Well, now it's come to a head, and my TSH is now at 20 plus, and my antibodies are at 700 something, and I'll put that up for like a 10-second run so you guys can look at the numbers and stuff. And it's the worst it's ever been. And I found out more about taking iodine, and it could have been, because the last time I got my numbers done for my TSH, it was only 10, which is still not good. It's still not good. It's way out of range, of course. And I'm on medicated. And I have been on medicated since I was, early 40s, 40, 41, 42. I haven't taken any thyroid since then, any supplementation, because what they were doing then is they were just chucking Synthroid at me. And that addresses the T4, but not the conversion of T4 and T3. That conversion wasn't happening. So there's several things I'm going to have to do. I went to a naturopath, and as I said in one of my prior videos, I wasn't super impressed with her. She was very dismissive, discounting, and seemed to have just an overall lack of care. I think as a naturopath goes, she's doing protocol. So for me, she's like, okay, she's not taking hormone replacement therapy. She's obviously there's these problems, let's address those. And she just threw a bunch of stuff at me and said, go. Okay. But having researched some more stuff, I understand what her goal is. Her goal is to get my gut healed and reset it, because leaky gut apparently is tethered very tightly to Hashimoto's people. It's almost always a problem, and it's part and parcel to why the Hashimoto's is presenting. And so I've had Hashimoto since I was in my early 30s. It could have even been sooner, but that's when we knew I had it. And as I've aged, it's gotten worse. And I remember feeling better when I was on Atkins, and then I'm feeling better when I was ketogenic. And the thing is I actually need to give my system a lot of time to get with the new eating protocol. It can't just be something I do most of the time and then screw off other times. So the big offenders are dairy and gluten, and they can be in order, degree of lesser severity, eggs and legumes. And you guys know that I love peanuts and stuff, and they're always a problem. Always a problem. I get eczema in my ear back right away as soon as I have any legume. And I had a little bit yesterday on the flight. I had a couple cashews and some almonds because they were part of the nut selection. I, of course, left the pretzel stuff, but I had that. And the next day I wake up and I've got, eczema flaring a little bit in my ear, and it's that sensitive. And right now my system is overloaded, and it's looking at everything I'm eating as a possible offender. So that means two things. One, I had to go on a thyroid hormone replacement immediately because, pretty much you get up to like a 30 TSH and you start storming. And then you're looking at maybe having to have it removed and all these things. And so I just couldn't goof around anymore. And so $200 later, that's right, $200 later, not affordable at all. I had to get a thyroid hormone replacement medication that addresses the T3, and then I had to get one that addresses the T4. She and I talked about what was best, because Synthroid doesn't work very well with me. It makes my hair fall out and I get heart palpitations, and I don't have any kind of like resolution that's good for me. So we're doing a protocol. It's a little bit more expensive, but it will help with a conversion. And I would like to address that. I would like to support my thyroid while I'm figuring out through diet what the problem is. And I'm also doing this gut reset thing. And I showed you guys in my last video kind of what I was taking. And one of my subscribers, Sammy, she's like, well, you can get that stuff on Amazon. So I looked it up, but it's quite expensive even for that. So I already bought it through her, probably on a little bit of a markup, but that's part of what the cost was, I think, in the appointment of the $959. I think that was part of the cost. So I started taking that today, and it's 3 bottles of 3 pills twice a day, and then this powder stuff too. So I'm doing that. Then I started taking the 2 meds for my thyroid. And so that's all new. And then, as you guys know, I'm continuing to take my zinc selenium supplement, my D3, and then of course the Mag C. Those are 3 super important supplements I need to take as a low thyroid producer, because I'm either not absorbing those nutrients from the food I eat sufficiently enough to support the thyroid, or I just need extra because I'm in a healing thing. I also switched from having cream in my coffee to butter. And I don't like it as much, but the fat is very important for me to have to support the thyroid. So what am I doing with fasting right now? Well, my system is so stressed out right now, immune-wise, that I'm going to withdraw from fasting for a little while. But instead of, like today would normally be an ADF day, would be a fasting day. So what I'm going to do instead of not having food is I'm going to go ahead and have the butter in my coffee. And then every time I feel like I'm hungry enough to eat, I'm going to have a can of sardines. So I'm going to do the sardine fasting on the days I would normally just have some cream in my coffee and fat fast. And you might be asking me, oh, why are you doing that? You can see how fired up my skin is, right? It's pissed. This is what happens to my skin if I have any trigger foods, which I've been having fries or baked potato or something on the days I've been eating. But I did fast the whole time I was there, every other day in Indiana visiting the kids. Anyhow, and I'm kind of hot right now. I'm kind of hot. Finally got summer weather in Washington, and so it's a little bit warmer in my little studio than it has been in the past. Anyways, back on track. Taking this gut reset regimen. I'm taking now the thyroid hormone every day, plus my normal supplements I take, because I need to stay up on that. I'm not sure what to do about the iodine. Listening to the premier authority, naturopath Dr. Elizabeth Bright, on iodine, she does address Hashimoto's and everything, and still is saying, calling for five drops a day of the 2% Lugol's solution. So I'm not sure about that, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to keep doing that in my coffee. But I'm thinking it might have been part and parcel to making this whole thing digress to this huge TSH 20 plus number that I have. But now that I'm supporting it and everything else, maybe I can still take the iodine. And the naturopath doctor that was super indifferent to me as a human being didn't say anything when I told her, rapid fire. I was trying to get as much information to her, because she wasn't asking what I was eating, what I was supplementing with. I mean, those are huge voids in her knowledge base. She just was like, you're going to reset your gut. You're going to take thyroid, and then come back in 30 days and then we'll test you again. Well, I'm not really impressed by that. Of course my thyroid numbers are going to be better because I'm supplementing. Fucking duh. What I really want to do is address the problem of the body attacking the thyroid, and that's what she's not giving me. Okay, so I reset my gut. Great. That gets my gut in a probiotic, better state, and I've looked into it now some. I understand that I must have leaky gut to have Hashimoto's. It's just part of it. And I want to get that out of there. That means that when I was having gluten or dairy or whatever the problems were, whatever the trigger foods were, it was some of those large protein things were getting through my gut wall and entering the bloodstream, causing my body to attack, things that were actually not a problem. I will do all that protocol and see if I can get better. But now all the way back to the beginning, I think the reason carnivore is so effective with people that have Hashimoto's, and it eventually puts it into remission, is because carnivore foods, animal kingdom foods, just by default take out all the trigger. All the trigger foods for Hashimoto's that I'm researching and discovering are all things that are outside the animal kingdom. Legumes, well, dairy's not, and eggs aren't. Those are part of the carnivore foods, but I'm seeing some doctors saying you need to take those out. And I'm not willing to take out eggs right now. I haven't ever noticed they've been a problem, but I will take out dairy. And of course, gluten's gone forever. Like that's not, and it's in everything. It's like in soy sauce, it's in the fillers for some medications. And that was another problem too, is that the very thing that's, I think, very, very much a problem for me is gluten. And it's even in some of the older thyroid medications like Synthroid and stuff as a filler. So the very thing that's problematic to Hashimoto's people is used as a filler for the hormone replacement. It's just retarded. So my gal, thankfully got me the hypoallergenic thyroid hormone replacement stuff. It doesn't have any fillers that have the trigger ingredients for filler in them. So they're a little bit more expensive, but I mean, why defeat yourself by having the filler that might be the actual trigger food problem as part of the hormone therapy? That would be, doltish. So she seems to know her stuff. So we'll see. But of course, my numbers are going to be better next month. But that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at not having to take medication at $200 a month. That's not affordable at all for me. Anyhow, so I'm defeated, guys. I feel real sad right now. I'm having to take medication I didn't want to. And part of it's my own problem. Anybody that's watched me for a while can see and just say, hey, you should have just stuck to the course and been carnivore and not had anything else. And then maybe eventually your numbers would have gotten better. Well, now I guess this is a wake-up call, right? I mean, we're not perfect. And I guess I just didn't want to commit on this level of aggression and say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, because I just didn't want to. So now I'm stuck. Know in the comments, you guys, what you think. And I feel really bad. I feel bad on so many fronts. I feel bad because I have to take something. I feel bad because no matter what I did, it didn't fix it. I feel bad because I don't think fasting was actually helping me in long term. And I just don't know what's going to work right now. I just kind of throwing my hands up and doing the protocol and seeing if I do feel better. But it's really aggressive. I got to take the gut reset stuff twice a day, plus my supplement. I'm hoping the sardines will help me. So I'm going to be eating those every other day. I'm going to go on Amazon and get them on Subscribe and Save now. Maybe they'll come, for my next order or whatever. That might seem kind of weird too, but for me, I'm looking at the sardines as being carnivore. They have very low toxicity because of their size. They have omega-3s, and they have really crucial thyroid support nutrient load. So I'm hoping that'll be good. I feel good after I eat them. And ancestrally speaking, since I'm so heavily Norwegian, it would have been an ancestral food that my people would have had, like herring and sardines. They're hand in hand. My people would have had that. So I feel as though the sardines are probably a really good fasting thing, and people that I trust in the carnivore space are using sardines for fasting and having very good results on a lot of different fronts. It's not just weight loss, which at this point is like way down on the list. I mean, obviously I can't stand being chubby. I mean, I don't love it. I'm neurotic about my weight, right? But my thought was that maybe, I can feel better and get my health back in line, because my skins and everything hurts, and I have all the classic signs of Hashimoto's in a real aggressive way, except I haven't lost my hair or whatever, but I've got the dry skin, I've got the joint pain and stiffness, I've got the muscle soreness, and all of it, the weight gain, every symptom for Hashimoto's is now top tier. It's all surfaced. It's there. I can see it every day. I feel it every day. I don't feel well. So I'm done now. I just have to do something. even if it's short term. So I am going to take the medication. I'll let you guys know in a couple of weeks if I feel better. My birthday's coming up shortly, and that'll be kind of my last cheat day. And then after that, I'm going to go into just the strict carnivore, which will be the sardines, beef, pork, chicken, butter, and eggs. And that's all I'm going to have. So I'll eat sort of normally on my feed days, and then I'll have sardines on my non-feed days. So it'll be like 2 or 3 cans of sardines on what would have been a fat fasting day, and then I will have a normal meal the next day. It'll be like maybe eggs in the morning, and then steak later on in the night and later in the day, or a couple hamburger patties or whatever. But right now, I have such a huge amount of depression. I don't even feel like eating. I know this is a Debbie Downer, you guys. I know it is, but I can't even front, you guys. I'm just so sad about the turn of events and what I'm going to have to do, and I don't really have the internal fortitude right now because I feel very beaten down by the whole process in the last year or so, last couple of years of trying to figure out why this is all happening, that my attitude's not perfect. I also will be taking the Dutch test, which will check the levels of my cortisone and estrogen and progesterone and testosterone and B12, which my B12 is probably fine. But I'll be doing that as well. But I just can't face it right now. Like next week, I'll do the Dutch test and get that. But I just can't do it today. We got in at midnight, but it was 3 a.m. East Coast time for me. And we slept like 5 hours. And anyway, we're getting our bearings. But anyway, I love you guys. And thanks for traveling with me on this journey. It's been super up and down. I'm really feeling sad right now. And I appreciate you guys having my back and subscribing and sharing and liking my videos, because it's a lot to just keep going right now. Anyway, thank you.